they gonna kill you out here, man. You getting into some New Orleans ain't the same. Just go to school. Why don't you go back and play ball? Because I was going on college campuses and killing they school. Any player at Xavier Dillard killing them. And so, I was gonna I went to Suno and I was taking music. And one day I decided at the UC to battle MC Dot and got my ass bust. You know what I'm saying? And so he needed a ride home. And, I was in that mode of hustling. So, a nice car, whatever. And I bring him, he said, bring me on. You want me KLC? I'm like, you serious? He's like, yeah. So he bring me to the Parkway and KL sitting in there, dog walking there, said, man, I'm about to go home. He rap. I want you to check him out. And KL looked up, looked back at me, and kept working. I'm like,
yeah, sound like him. Sound like KL.
About 10 minutes later, he turned and said, spit something for me. So then I tongue twist like Bone Thugs back then. Yeah. And so I'm just flowing. He said, give me 16 balls. So I was just rapping for about 3 minutes straight. And he was like, stop. I was like, what? And he was like, you can't rap. And I look, I got gun on me, everything. About $4,000 in my pocket, real talk. And
about to risk it all, huh?
And I'm looking at him like, I could buy your life right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you playing with me in this little bitty ass, place. And, but I'm more smarter than to go off. I'm sitting there looking at him mad. And I'm like, it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because my uncle, when I first came down, my cousin, he was a big time manager. I rapped for him. He said that'll never work. So now KL and told me, I'm like, that's 2 strikes, but I'm not gonna quit. So I'm about to walk out. He said, no, you don't. I told you kick 16 balls. You've been rapping for 3 minutes. Like, you need to learn what balls are. You know what balls are? I'm like, no. I'm telling them the only balls I know that you go in and get a drink. Yeah. And and gold balls, that's about it. And so he was like, no. And he said, I'm gonna teach you. He said, you got a nice flow, I'm gonna teach you. And it's different. Where you from? I said, I'm from Uptown. He said, you sound like you're from the East Coast. I said, no, I lived there for like 4 years, and that's where I really learned to rap. And so we start seeing we had a lot in common, like North Carolina basketball, and we watched Fred Sanford. And so at night we had a routine. I go hustle during the day, doing what I do, school and hustle. And then, come by him, we work a little bit, then we'll stop and go play basketball at 12 midnight. And it's, because KL balled a little bit. He can ball, he can handle his business. But then we come back, watch Speed Racer. For y'all that's too young, y'all don't know what Speed Racer is. But, and better yet, I'm gonna tell you guys, people go buy Bugattis. The way the Bugatti, the way it's built, that was a car in Speed Racer. It really was a car, like the supercar, right? But so we come back and then we work till like 2, 3 in the morning, and then we'll go eat together, at this spot called Anita's. If you listen to my first album, Life Returns, I said, go to Anita's after 4, see all the bras you used to before. You know what I'm saying? And so, we got close in that manner, and it was crazy because I had a daughter the same age as his daughter, and so we would work, and then, he didn't like the idea. I got into a new hustle. It wasn't drugs. I got into the corporate federal thing, credit cards and checks. And so that's where the Serv On thing came from, because I built up a whole situation where UPS drivers working for me, people working in the bank for me.
You had a whole organization.
So we running in Foot Lockers. Like at that time, like y'all always like wearing Jordans. Y'all old enough when the Jordans was really coming out the first time, right? So I was that person. Like, if y'all like Jordans, you come tell me how many pairs you want, and I'm gonna go to Foot Locker.
Oh, man. I wish you was that plug now. I was trying to get some cool grays. They first came out a few months ago. It was hard. They had police escorting the shoes out. Them Jordans ain't nothing to play with. But I wanted to say this though. I wanted to stop you and say this though. I applaud you for what you said when you said you was when you went to the studio with KLC and you had a strap on you and you also had some bread on you, but you reacted in a different way, more maturely to an insult. I respect that because I remember when we went to New Orleans and we shot our video down there with you, Still in the Struggle. Mm-hmm. And everybody in there had bullet wounds. Everybody in there had a story that they had been shot, damn near killed. And it's like it's so powerful hearing you say that because I know where you come from.
And that's the crazy part about it too. Every time a lot of people ask us about Still in the Struggle because that was our first video to do 1 million views. Yeah. So I always tell the story about when you took us to the studio and everybody was talking about I got shot story.
Everybody got shot.
Oh
I almost felt like somebody had to shoot me. Like, damn, I need to get shot to feel at home.
Because it was wild on there. And then what you guys didn't realize is, you know, and this is when you carry yourself a certain way, not saying, oh man, I'm this gangster, whatever. It's about carrying yourself in a mature gangster way. We were really downtown. I'm from uptown. We don't mix.
Right.
But not because of music, I was able to come down there because when I was doing what I was doing between basketball and then hustling, I didn't say I'm gonna only deal with my area. I went everywhere. And people remember that, so I can go everywhere and do things or whatever, and they're not gonna trip, you know. And I understood the territory of it, of like, I'm gonna establish something with these dudes downtown. And Ace was like a little brother to me. The studio y'all was at, you know, and all of them was downtown dudes. You know what I mean?
And I'm gonna say one thing about that too, that experience. I mean, if it wasn't for you and you know, Ace, that's the one thing that I had never seen doing the feature. You know what I'm saying? We did the song Still in the Struggle, and like these dudes, they not even on the song. You know what I mean? But on the social media side, man, they shared that thing, they post that thing. It was like it was like, man, and they counting it with me. Yeah. We like 500,000 views. They like, oh, we popping at 500,000 views, and they sharing it again to their people, and that's the one thing I think that helped that record do what it did. You know what I mean? Because it was like
total effort
from everybody. You know what I mean? And you did your thing on it for sure, and we did our thing. It was a beautiful situation.
Oh yeah, man, it was a good thing, you know.
Yeah, but we got to go back to life insurance. We ain't never did life insurance.
We're such an established artist right now.
Yeah, he's doing so much.
From high school, boom, you got in with P, boom. Now we done hit
life insurance.
So just Slim, boom.
Let's do life insurance.
True,
please.
No limit. Life insurance, the next level. But let's talk about life insurance right now.
The classic, you know, to me.
And hold on, life insurance. Let me just speak some numbers right here. Number 23 on the charts. Number 5 on R&B. 20 on the no limit list. You done really hit some charts. You done really did some numbers with this album as well.
And it's a fan favorite album. I mean, from the album cover to all the music, to Brother Lynch featured on it, to songs with you and P. I mean, like, what was it like creating the life insurance album?
It was pressure, you know, because I know I was different from everybody. I didn't grow up in that New Orleans circle of music. You know what I'm saying? The Mias, the Fiends, the KLs, they all was friends. They grew up in that scene. You know, I was an outsider to them in so many ways, you know, and so for me, it was like, I knew I was different. You know, my words would be New Orleans wise, but my rap style was East Coast. And so it was a mixture. So I knew I was different. But for me and KL, it was like, we gonna give them something different, you know. And then No Limit was starting to pop then. And, you know, and I gotta thank E40 because No Limit we saw 40 once, and P was letting him listen to some stuff, and P was like, who that is? And on the song Fuck a Dead Man. And P said, that's him. He was like, man, you better put Playboy out. And so P was like, yo, it's time for you, it's time, your time. You know what I'm saying, to come out. You know, you gotta go work. And so for me and KL knew I was different. You know, that's why, you know, my album was totally different. And so the pressure was like, you know, I can't mess this up. Everybody chart so far, everybody doing over 100,000 the first week. I can't mess up. So it was really, and it took me maybe a couple of songs to get into the album when KL was like,